All opinions expressed by the program participants are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Upscale Love for You. The program participants' opinions are based on the information that they consider from their own knowledge. No expressions or accuracy is related to Upscale Love for You.
Evening, everyone. This is yours truly, Dr. Fabulous. And this evening, we are hosting an open forum. Do you know what an open forum is? You can say whatever your heart desire because no answer is the wrong answer. So tonight is going to be great. And we are going to express ourselves in the proper manner, classy, not trashy. Okay. So with that being said, once again, I am yours truly, Dr. Fabulous, the CEO of Upscale Love for You. And I'm turning it over to the one, the only Dr. Feelgood. Oops, my big intro, and I didn't even get nothing back. Well, let me try this.
Dr. Feelgood with that sexy voice. You know I'm ready for you.
Well, I'm gonna swing it on over there to the distinguished brother, the one, the
Hey,
only.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm here. I'm
Okay. I tried to give you that good old intro, but
all right.
okay.
That's all right. You know I can handle it either way.
All right, all right.
Hey, this is Dr. Feelgood, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, rulers of Rolls Royce. Coming from the 571, where I'm having fun and I'm getting things done. I want everybody to have a great show. Keep it lively, keep it up, and keep your ears open because you never know what's going to happen on this show. Now, I'm going to pass it to distinguished brother, the brother like no other.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you this evening? My name is the distinguished brother, and I'm here to make you think, to tantalize, and fantasize. Tonight is going to be a good one. I want you all to open your minds, open your hearts, and I can't say everything else that need to be open, but let's just have a good time and enjoy ourselves this evening.
Boy, distinguished brother, you kind of hot to trot tonight. Okay. All right. Taking it over to the lady of the hour. That is none other than Lady T from all the way from the, how do you say, the beautiful city of Miami. Lady T.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. This is Lady T coming live from the 305. And you know what, Dr. Feelgood? I think you have some competition because, oh, distinguished brother, you just did something to me there. Anyway, I just want to welcome you all. Thank you. And I am looking forward to a hot night of fun. Passing it over to Special K.
Oh, and Special K, you look so beautiful. Go on, girl.
Really?
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I
just came from the gym, so I didn't have time to do anything, but I still jumped on. So I want to say welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and let's just get ready for some hot conversation.
Now, you know what, y'all heard her say she just come from the gym. She trying to get it tight and right for the cruise.
There you go.
Get your sexy girl. Get your sexy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, she want to win.
I gotta get in that swimsuit.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, try that two-piece on so you know exactly how it looks and where to fit.
Oh,
but a two-piece could be that tankini. Two-piece could be that tankini too, okay?
There you go. We know where to cover the right spots, right?
That sounds like cake then.
Okay, now listen, y'all. We having a lot of fun this evening. We haven't even gotten started, but let me tell you just a little bit about Upscale Love for You. Upscale for You is formulated to entertain, to educate, and facilitate self-help, self-love, and everything you want to wish and know about love, relationships, dating, and marriage. Upscale Love is everything about relationships. Yes, we talk about hot topics, sensitive matters, and all of that. But guess what? We're here every Thursday, unless you come on and we say, hey, we'll see you next week. But all jokes aside, we are actually here to cover different things that you may not find it easy to talk about with your teenagers. Because, yes, they really want to know the real deal about relationships and all of that. But if you're just looking for a place to pass the time or some genuine 100% conversation, Upscale Love for You is the place to be. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. And this evening, you all, it is an open forum. It's a free for all. So, as I stated earlier, no answer is a wrong answer because everybody is privy to their own opinion. And to say, well, to say it like this, when the thrill is gone in a relationship, whether it's physical, mental, or sexual, then you got to learn how to put the flames back and get it hot, hot, hot once again. So I'm going to start it off with, is Special K, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I
So we're going to
was.
start with Special K.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm not ready. Okay, so the topic, how to rekindle the flame and keep the relationship going. Oh man, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay,
That's okay.
so just my personal opinion, I think in whether it's a marriage or a long-term relationship, I believe that it's important to still date within that marriage or your relationship. What is the saying? The way you got them is the way you keep them, or something to that is a saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where a lot of things tend to go wrong.
What you did, no, the saying is what you did to get them, you got to do more to keep them.
To keep them. Okay.
That's
So
the saying.
yes, right.
Mhm.
So I think a lot of people get comfortable and after a few years or whatever, and think, well, I don't have to do this anymore. He or she is here to stay, their minds. And I think that can be the farthest from the truth. I mean, I think you got to keep that passion going. And so I just feel like, as for women, you got to keep the sexy going. I mean, that's just whatever that man drew into you and he liked about you from the beginning. I think it's important to keep it going. But I really feel like dating, because we all get consumed with life starts life, and we have children in the mix, we have work, things to that nature, and people can kind of get comfortable, get distracted, and get neglected. So, if it's once a week, I think, try to find a babysitter, however that may go, if you have kids involved, and go on a date with your spouse. And just be spontaneous. I think men like spontaneity. They like for you to be spontaneous, and I think women do. So far as the men go, women do something when they come home, and like be ready, have your little sexy lingerie on, maybe even nothing, just do something out of the ordinary to for him. What your spouse likes. If it's a sexual thing and he likes it, do it, for him. As far as the men, for the women, I believe that women, sometimes we don't always want to have to be the decision makers and everything when it comes to stepping out, date, arranging date nights, things like that. For some of the men, be spontaneous, call her up and say, hey, meet me here at a certain time. Like you were teenagers, how teenagers do, and when you first started the relationship, meet me here at a certain time tonight, and do something and have something planned. And I think if you keep things like that going in a relationship, you know, you'll keep it exciting. I just think keeping it exciting is the main thing.
Okay, well, I have a question. I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. And now we can always try to pull in the attraction for an individual when it comes to the physical. But when the thrill is gone mentally, the stimulation, we're looking to get back in the mind, because they say that if a man has feelings for someone, because you know, when men have affairs and the person, you see the girl that they cheating with, and you say, my God, what did he see in her? And it's not even a physical attraction. Sometimes it's what that woman is doing in the mindset. So when you lose that thrill from being mentally attached to someone or detached from someone, that's a big key element to a relationship, because sometimes the person don't even have to have a good look on the outside. It's how they treat you. And if you can get in their mind, sometimes that's better than the outer appearance. So can you share with us, if it was coming from the mindset, you've lost all that mental stimulation from that individual. And hey, look who back, Lady T. Look at him. He done snuck on up in here. How you doing? He know we talking to him. He trying to act all bourgeois.
Danny, I have missed you. I just want you to know that.
Danny.
So my thing is, if it gets to the point of the mental being gone, that's going to take a lot more than what I was just saying. So my first thing would be to say is, how do we get to the point, you know, those were things I felt to hopefully keep that mental. But by the time two people done clocked out mentally of a relationship, that's usually a buildup of some years of something. Something is not right. Somebody fell short, you know, somewhere down the line.
I say this, because we had a young lady that said she just woke up one morning and she just didn't want to be married no more.
But I'm sure that was a buildup of some time and of some things.
I'm telling you, she said it was not. She said she just woke up one morning and felt like, hey, I'd rather be by myself. She said, and I asked the questions I asked, I did some probing. I asked her, had the intimacy gone? Because there is a difference in being sexual and being intimate. I say, did the intimacy leave? Did your husband gain weight? Was the finances wrong? Because I'm going to tell you now, when those finances go flip-flop, your thrill can kind of be gone. Because I'll never forget, without a shadow of a doubt, and I believe that my husband loved me to the 10th power. But if he was working on a contract and that money wasn't coming through right, he's like, baby, hold on to that thought. Because we can make love anytime. I need to get these dollars and cents right. So when I asked all those questions, she said it was none of that. She was just tired of being married, and she just felt like she needed to break away. And that was when I suggested to her, I said, well, have you ever thought about just separating, and then you all go get counseling to come back together on a dating privy, opposed to where you stay with someone? You know, when you get disgusted and aggravated with someone, it starts to get bitter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I just don't believe that. Granted, yeah, she could wake up one day and say, I don't want to be married. I don't want to be in this marriage. But what I'm saying is that still, to me, I don't feel that just came out of one morning. There had to be something along the way. And not saying it was
that
him.
Triggered it.
You know what I'm saying? It could have just been years of her just, you know, battling with, I don't want to be attached to it. It had to be something that led up. And then that was probably her final break to say, you know what, I'm done. I think in that extreme of a case, ain't no romancing and going out on dates or going to do anything. she made up, her mind is made up, she's done. So I don't even know counseling. And in my opinion, I would say counseling, but if when you get to a point, like R. Kelly said, when a woman is fed up, you fed up, and if she made that up in her mind that she was done and she wanted to exit, I don't think nothing was going to stop that.
Now,
that was probably just the break of their
about that R. Kelly. I was gonna say R. Kelly don't know about no woman. He mean a toddler.
Hey, but that's kind of true. When a woman is fed up, because some of us women take a lot, and we'll take, and then it'll get to the point when you get fed up, there's no turning back. You're done. Once you make up your mind to do something, just like with weight loss, you know, with me, when I made up my mind to say, hey, I'm done, I want to do this for what I need to do, that's where my mind is at. And can't nobody or nothing stop it now. I enjoy it, and my mind every day is on that. So, you know, I believe that. Yeah. But as far as the, you know, getting to the point of trying to get, that's an extreme case, I believe. But, you know, I just think communication is a lot. You know, sometimes, like I said, we can get so wrapped up in working and this and that we tend to neglect one another. And somebody's going to have to pull it back in.
Is neglect.
I believe so. You know, it could be, and it could be, well, I'm going to tell you this, and I don't know if the men agree or not, but in my experience, a lot of men that I hear talk that are married, one of their biggest things when the flame goes out is because the woman stopped having sex, stopped being sexual with them.
But you know what? Okay, well, see, I'm just going to say this. Everybody put the point as if it's all about sex. Sometimes it's not even a sex thing. It's the way, you know, I think, and I'm just speaking from experience of an old timer. I'm not going to say old timer, but a vintage and secured woman in herself. I think the way in which you treat a man, how you cater to a man as far as relationships, it would, you know, when you do things, certain things, your husband come home from work and had a hard, stressful day, and you got him a nice old bubble bath, and you know, you just got it just right.
And that I agree 100% with all that. But let's ask these men. Your woman does all of that for you, but you only have sex once a month, once every 2 months.
Some men don't even
like that. What are these men? Honestly, you can do all of that for them. What you think is going to happen? What do you think they're still going to? What is still going to roll back to and complain? She's, you know what I'm saying, my sex life. They're not being fulfilled. But
you got to look at
most men, not it's never all.
Older, as it depends on the age set or the age group of the individuals, because when everything, you got to learn how to please a man with more than just sex. Because
and I agree, but I
think you got to have something more of substance.
And I agree, but as us being the age that we are now, I think that, but what I'm saying is that's a very important part that comes along with it as well. Now, of course, as we get older, our bodies just probably won't allow us to do so much.
Stop lying now, stop lying. Look at this thing.
Now, what about I get 70 years old? I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do what I can do now.
When I get 70, I'm gonna still be doing belly floss.
We're gonna find a way to work this thing out at 70, 80, 90.
So at 70, 80 years
I'm gonna
old,
go to 105. I already told my partner.
You remember that commercial when Viagra first came out? Yeah, remember that commercial when Viagra first came out? The old guy looking at his wife, shaking them pills. This like, come on, girl, come on now,
so
get it going.
Let me ask you this, distinguished brother, at the age of 70, I don't know how old you are now, but at the age of 70, God willing, you still here. Is sex still going to be a part of your life? Is that something you think you would still want from your
oh yeah, I'm unmuted. As I have stated on numerous occasions, when I leave this planet, I want to be coming and going at the same time.
There you go.
I'm done.
There we go.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, as women, as a woman, and things I've heard so many from men. Y'all can say what you want to say. That is just how it's going. That's how it is. That is something that when that starts lacking in a relationship, that's when a lot of times things can just start going. But you might be with a man who doesn't require it as much, you know, and if you are, that's fine. That might even be better. I guess it just depends on the couple.
But I think that's the problem. Sex is the problem.
My cousin is not on the line.
The only time I ain't thinking about sex is if he ain't right. And that's real talk. My money's not right.
There you go. Now see, that's what I'm talking about. Because you know what make Dr. Fabulous? You know what make me happy? Baby, let that money be right. Ooh, you won't never have to
though. Like for everybody up here, money's not a mood changer for y'all?
It's a mood changer for me.
So I'm serious.
It can be.
Y'all
acting. I ain't thinking about my money ain't right.
No, I'm not acting. Yeah, it can be a mood changer, but you know, that's still an important part.
If that money wasn't right, girl, keep all that shank-a-lank. We finna get these dollars and cents. We getting ready to get this paper.
But the key word is listen to what they're saying. They are still saying that is the only time that's not at the forefront. That's the only time if their money is right. Y'all gotta listen to what they're saying.
No. Yeah, if my money ain't right, I ain't thinking about it. I'm thinking about the money.
Right, but outside of that,
I'm thinking about it.
Look. Maybe Dr. Fabulous got some male genes in me because of my money funny. But boy, sit down somewhere. We can do that when we can't.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But he said that's the only time. He's saying outside of that, then what's going to be at the forefront? What does he? You know what I mean?
Love.
But love, that's right. You got to spend time. You got to focus on
at the forefront of
but when you're with your spouse, you're in love with them. We're talking about your spouse, your significant other, husband, or a boyfriend, girlfriend. We're not saying that. Like for somebody who's just meeting somebody and at the beginning of the game, I understand that part. No, it shouldn't be that. But we're talking, that was the whole purpose. We're talking about the flame going out of a relationship or a marriage after some years.
Okay. And
that's what I'm saying, that tends to be one of the biggest things that happen is when that diminishes, then that flame starts to go out.
And that's what I'm saying about sex. Sex is a camouflage. No matter what you go through, if
you can be doing somersaults, and if they're not in love with you no more, baby, the thrill is gone. The thrill is gone. You can listen, you can be a part of the universal soul circus where you take your leg and wrap it around your neck, bring it through your nose, bring it back to your back, and he say, baby, it's over. It's over. I don't give a dang. So that's why I say,
but think about, I answered the question. The question at hand for tonight is what do you do to keep the flame or to reignite the flame? My thing is when you get to that point, if it's over and it's just over, you and ladies, you're absolutely correct. Ain't enough sex in the world going to solve that. But I was keeping it more, I've been saying to, getting to that point, before we get to that point of just, I'm done, I'm ready to walk away. There are things, I'm saying, that you got to kind of keep going, keep active to keep that flame. Now, if he's to the mindset, like you said, like, you know what, I don't want this anymore, I'm done, I'm tired, you're absolutely correct. At that point, it's no need.
But that's why you have to communicate. I don't care how you twist it. You have to communicate. He has to know you. You have to know him. And even if the money is funny, you can still work through it. You all can talk it out. Sometimes that poor love is the best love, but you just have to talk it through. Sex camouflages. I mean, it makes things complicated. Love definitely do not pay any bills, but you can work through it.
Exactly. And when you said that about poor love, see, different women are different people. Now, if I like a person or I care for a person, I mean, truly care for them, and they go through a dry spell, baby, I got you. Because what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine. That's the kind of woman I am. I'm not that woman that's always, if you don't have nothing, I'm going to drop you at the speck of a dime. No, we're going to work through this. You're going to get back on top. But while you don't have, guess what? I got your back. Because most men, they deal with, I'm not gonna say superficial women. They deal with women in certain manners, but you got to have you one of them. I'm not gonna say ride or die chicks, but I'm gonna have to say you got to have a woman that will stand behind you whether you're up or you're down. But when you get to a relationship where it has tittered and the thrill is gone and you trying to do everything, I always say this because you never know a person's mindset. But if you can get in their mind, baby, you got them till eternity, because it starts where? In the mind first. So if we're saying
Physical,
we're
mental, emotional.
what now, babe? I couldn't hear you.
Starts with physical, mental, and emotional.
All of that, all of that. But when you lose that mindset part, because I'm telling you, I get all tickled pink. I cannot be done talk to this person forever. And they call, I be like, hey, boo. I just get all excited because I know, even though we don't talk daily, because he had this thing. Now, we can't talk every day of the week because I don't like to talk on the phone. Okay, I'm good with that. But when we do talk, it's like a breath of fresh air, because I know he want to hear from me and I want to hear from him. So that just makes it all good and, you know. But anyway, back at you, Special K. I'm back at you. I'm gonna let you go on and finish because I get caught up. I get all butterflies and junk.
No, I'm done. I mean, it's just I that's just how I feel. I just feel that that's one of the things to keep the flame going. To go back to what the topic at hand is, that's just one of many things, but for that can be a very big part of it, in my opinion.
Okay, now I got this question. I'm playing the devil's advocate because tonight it is open forum, so just jump in where you fit in. Now, I had a girlfriend and we're around the same age. I'm 59, so she might be about 60, 62. And when she got her divorce, sometime, well, with me, I'm like this. If I get a divorce from someone, I just don't see myself ever going back that direction because I don't never regress. I always think about progressing. And I'll never forget. I asked her, she was going somewhere. I was like, girl, you looking all cute tonight, da 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 da. And I was like, well, where are you going? So she was going to meet her ex-husband at the hotel. And I was like, meet your ex-husband at the hotel? And she was like, yes. I say, so you mean to tell me you're still being sexually active with a man that you got a divorce and XYZ? And she was like, yes. And I asked her why. And she said, because it was a familiar ground. And I just thought, how could I couldn't even see myself. That just brought me to my knees. I was like, if I don't want to be with this person, point blank period, I don't want to be with him, why am I going to go back to allow him to have the pleasures of me? And I couldn't get down with that. So I'm going to ask a guy, a male, I'm going to come on slide.
Can I answer it?
You can answer that.
Sounds like she was addicted to what the dick did. Point blank period. If she, the ex-husband, she ain't go try to find somebody else, then I don't care how comfortable you are. You don't go back to an ex.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Unless you just getting your rocks off and that's it.
No.
Is there any other male that would like to answer that question?
Wait a minute. This is Tata. I got something to say. Hold up.
Go on, Tata. Tell us what you got to say.
So I'm gonna say this. I think there's a lot of women, you could still be or have some kind of sexual attraction to your ex. Like you could still have some kind of sexual attraction to your ex and still not want to be committed to that person. Like maybe I'm already familiar with this person, maybe I've already have some kind of history with this person, and maybe I want to get my scratch, like I want
addicted to what the dick did.
It doesn't necessarily, no, it doesn't necessarily mean, okay, I'm going to say it from this perspective. Okay. Like I'm divorced. and I remarried. But I have friends that have divorced and maybe they've messed around with their ex-husbands and they're like, I don't want anything to do with my ex-husband. Like, I don't see myself being in a committed relationship, but I don't see myself maybe going back into the dating pool and dating. I have kids and, I go scratch the itch and keep it moving. And he already knows me. I know him. There's some kind of
Exactly.
familiarity. I'm
Is
just
is it
saying it's not necessarily like maybe it is a case of but there are women that feel comfortable with going back to an ex because it feels like familiar ground. Like, I don't have to start over, I don't have to introduce myself, I don't have to expose myself to
Right.
somebody new. It's
Tata,
this I,
that Toto is
it's the
addicted to that
same thing
dildo,
this
that
brother
webbo.
just said.
Addicted to that
It,
webbo. I'm trying to tell you.
it is. It's
it,
exactly what he
I
said.
don't
No
think
matter
it's
how you try to
necessarily
pretty it up, no matter
I
how
don't
you
think
try
it's
to change the
necessarily that.
wording,
I don't
it's
think
the
it's
same
necessarily that.
thing.
I don't think it's necessarily that. Now, if there's women that I've talked to that say like, no, his dick is great and I go to it because that's the best. But there's women that tell me like, like it's on the table, he's offered it, and they say like, I don't know if I want to put myself out there again with somebody new. And, I don't think it's only because of that. I think
But
it's there's
Lot of women.
Nah.
Tata, can I ask you a
Nah, you're
question?
not gonna
I,
convince
I
me.
I hear what you're saying, Tata, but as a woman, and you say because you don't want to introduce yourself to someone else. How do you feel, or how would you feel, or whomever it is, if you're going back to get that little tune up, get your tires rotated or whatever, and he tells you no because he has found someone that he's been one-on-one Charlie
You would
with?
be
Then
crushed.
you
You
would
would
I
be
be
crushed.
okay.
destroyed.
Wait a minute.
Devastating.
Okay, wait a minute. I am, uh, I am in my personal case. I'm gonna be real honest. In my case, I think everything needs to be discussed up front. Your expectations of a relationship needs to be discussed up front. When you enter into a relationship of friends with benefits, that needs to be discussed up front. If you are a female that is meddling with somebody and you're just walking into it and it has not been discussed, that's a trap. You need to discuss that because you need to make sure that you ain't falling in love with this person or that this person ain't falling into, or that your expectations are okay, that your expectations are, this is what it is. And I'm going to be honest, my first husband, that's how I met. I considered myself to be bisexual. I was open and I said, I don't want nothing serious. I was actually going into the military. I wanted nothing serious with this person. And I told him, I'm willing to use you to scratch the itch and keep it moving. I never thought that after getting to develop a friendship with him over time, I actually ended up liking him. He proposed and I got married to this person and we had a child together. Now, um, but like I said, you need to put your cards on the table, and that's what's happening. A lot of these females and a lot of people, and it happens, and I'm just gonna say because a lot of females, we don't put we don't put the cards on the table, and then we're expecting, and we're in love more with the idea of love than with the person that we're getting into in a relationship with, and that's real. You need to lay your cards out from the very beginning and say, these are my expectations. This is what I want. And I think that over time we get comfortable with people, and we need to understand the person that I was 5 years ago is not the same person that I'm going to be in the next 5 years. I change, you evolve. The way maybe I liked 69 yesterday, but today I want on top, I want freaky, I want chocolate, I want all of it, like I'm not the same person. We continue to evolve. And that's why, as we continue growing, that's where we need to avoid hitting rock bottom in that relationship, we need to make sure that we say, this is where I'm at. Constant communication. And the moment that the communication changes, then that's where things start to go downhill from there, because that means you start to fall into assumption. I don't know where he's at. I don't know where I'm at. We start doing shady stuff. I'm start messing around. I'm entertaining stuff. And then, now, and you start opening doors, and then the relationship start going downhill from there.
Now, Tata, you have said a mouthful, and I have to tell all my super fans out here in podcast land, please stop calling me right now, because my podcast ends at 10. Now, I had to put my picture up to step away to get a telephone call, to take a telephone call. But everyone knows that Dr. Fabulous don't let nothing stop her from Upscale Love for You. So if you're trying to call me, if it's not Dire Straits, or if it's not my children pertaining to my grandchildren, please stop calling my telephone. Thank you so much. That was a public service announcement. Now back to the key at hand. Tata, I hear everything you're saying. God knows I hear you. And I was listening while I was taking care of what I had to take care of. But when you say that you have to communicate at the very beginning of what the relationship going to be, whether it's a friend, whether it's a friend with benefits, I'm going to truly say, as a woman, when you first meet a man, I don't think we really know what it's going to be. We're trying to feel it out to see what it's going to get to, what it's going to development into, because that's just like some people that you think and you meet them, you say, hey, we're going to be friends. And then later on, you realize, I don't even like this person. Why am I even dealing with him? So at the very beginning, when you say you need to talk about and discuss what it's going to be, a discussion about something that you're not sure about, I think is a waste of time. But some people, as you say, Lady T said, when you become intimate with someone, that's when you bring all that added extra. But most of the time, ladies, when you're not involved sexually, child, you can walk away and don't look back, never, ever again. It's when you start being sexual. It's when you're
back
sexual.
What I said, physical, mental, emotional.
Yeah.
When y'all see y'all see somebody y'all like, it's because you physically like them, right? When you start talking to them, you can either like them or don't like them either more. Now, if you really like them, you get on that emotional level, it's over.
Yeah. So
that's why I say you need to draw your cards from the beginning. Because I'm going to be honest, I feel like when you start dating someone, that's why you need to start having that communication. Like, I want to know you. Like, I want to know where this is going, because I don't want to waste my time. I want to know what you like, where, I want to know. And as it continues to evolve, I want to know, okay, what do you expect from me? And can I meet those expectations? Because that's what happens. We start to get into these relationships, and you meet these, you get into these relationships, and then you're not really speaking on certain things, and there's things that we keep to ourselves, and then and then we get married, and then you have these kids. And I give an example: you get married, you have kids, and then that's where a lot of people start talking about parenting, or that's when they start talking about certain things. I think everything needs to be discussed, everything needs to put on the plate, and from the beginning, this is where I'm at. And as I continue to open up to you, and if I like you, but I still communicate, at least me, myself, and I say, this is who I am. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. And either you on it or you not, because I don't want to drag nobody along. I don't want to waste your time, and you don't want to waste my time. That's just the thing. I think that a lot of times we don't open up because we scared of stepping on toes, or we're scared of opening up our minds, and we scared. I think a lot of times we do that subconsciously or consciously. We do that. We don't open up about certain things because maybe that's too messy, or maybe, oh, I don't want to say that. That's gonna make me. Oh no, I say everything that I need to say from the very beginning, because why? I've been in situations where I've learned that you don't open up I got married at a very young age. I got married at 17, 18 years old with a man that was 35 years old. This person had lived and I didn't know. And now that I'm in my 30s, now I say I have a voice and I can vocalize, and this is what I want. This is how I want it, and this is how I need it. And so I think that in a relationship, a man and a woman, you can't be scared. Like there's people that fantasize about doing three ways or doing toys or doing certain things, but then that doesn't pop up until after the fact. And then you wondering why the person's fooling around or watching the stuff on TV or doing stuff. That stuff needs to be discussed up front. And I feel like you start catching surprises after the fact. That's why I say everything needs to be laid out in the beginning. I've learned that, and it needs to be, there needs to be, I think that as we continue to get older, we need to get better. And I feel like part of it is communicating up front. This is who I am. This is what I like. This is how I want it. And, I want to know what your expectations are, because I don't want to waste your time and you don't want to waste my time, and keep it moving. If
Okay,
it works, it
Tata,
works.
when you say upfront,
Wait,
Tata, when you,
I'm sorry, Leanne, I'm gonna let you get there, but
I had my hand raised for a long time.
But me and Tata, we was having some dialogue before your hand came up. So Leanne, just hold tight.
I just put my damn hands down.
You put your goddamn on the season, Leanne. But listen, Tata, all jokes aside, listen to me, sweetie. You say you got married at the age of 18 and your husband was 35. And so you had to have something going on there, because to see a 18-year-old marry a 35-year-old man, 17 years age difference, right there, I'm looking at it like,
a mental.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying I know that example is like for what we're discussing tonight, but I'm using that as an example because in my case is getting married so young, I didn't really know what I wanted or my voice, and that's why I feel that the way I do. I feel like now that I'm more mature, and now that I have kids, and now it's like, okay, if I ever do this again, or if I get in a relationship, like I want to put my cards out on the table from the very beginning. This is what I've learned. This is what I want. This is where I'm going. These are the sexual positions I like, and this is what I'm willing to try. And I want to discuss it all in the beginning. And I feel like I've learned it. I've seen it in other relationships where certain things are not discussed, and then it pops up in the middle of the relationship, and then it starts going downhill from there. So I'm using my personal experience from growth, that I'm just saying I discuss and I lay my cards out in the beginning. I do that because of my past experience.
Okay, Tata. Well, how soon, Tata, how soon do you call in the beginning?
So I'm assuming like when you start dating, and I don't know because I haven't dated in a while, but I'll be in the market soon. But in the beginning,
market soon.
Yes, I'll be in the market soon.
Okay.
Oh hell! What I mean by
you're in the right place, Tata, because we have upscale love for you. Speed dating.
Okay.
I think when you start dating someone and you start talking to someone, you want to start asking certain questions. You want to start to get to know the person. You want to start discussing certain things as the relationship starts to get more intimate, and you start putting, things start to lead. Okay, are we going to start having sex? Well, before we have sex, I want to discuss this because this is intimate. I feel like when even if it's friends with benefits, I'm still like letting you inside my body. That's an intimate action. So I need to know at some level who I'm sleeping with or who I'm with. Like, you're not just going to stick it in me like that. And even if we're dating, like, you need to know, I need to know who I'm getting involved with. And I need to know, like, even if you my friend with benefits, the word is still friend. There still needs to be some kind of friendship, that we need to be in some kind of at some kind of level. I need to know where you're at mentally, emotionally. Who am I messing around with? This is because I'm not no Tinder. bender. This is not no jumping around. And I done been there, done that.
Understood. Okay, so have you ever
Oh, I hope you ask the same
cared for
question I'm about to
somebody?
ask.
Wait a minute. Let me ask this question. You met John Doe. You didn't sleep with him. You started to get to know him. Okay. Before you slept with him, he fed you everything you wanted to hear. At what point, when you catch him in a lie, do you kick him to the curb? Because you done had sex with him after. Have you ever kicked a man to the curb is going to be my question.
Oh, I have. I mean, I have. I
For
mean,
what reason?
mind you, it's
For
been a
what
while.
reason? For what reason?
Ooh.
For what reason?
Before I got married, I was dating a few dudes and I was with a few chicks. And you're dating them, and before you start having sex, and then you start seeing some of them signs and they're messing around with somebody else, or you start seeing things that just don't mess right, the drama, the messiness. And I was quick to but to throw them to the curve, like, this ain't working out,
Did
move
you
on,
at
I
that
move on.
time did you put all of that out on the table?
Oh yes, I do. I've always been
Okay.
very open-minded, and I've always laid it out. Like, I'm one thing that I've said, and I say it out, is I lay out my stuff like, hey, listen, this is gonna be this, and we gonna mess around, or we gonna do this and we gonna do that, or we're not gonna do this. I try to lay it out from the beginning, because I'm the type of person, like, I feel like I'm open, and I don't have a problem like saying, okay, if I want to have a three-way, or if I want to mess around, or if I want to bring somebody else, like, I don't have a problem with
But you
discussing
might not
any of
even
that in the very beginning. But
you
I
might
have a
not even
problem
like
when things
him.
start. Mm,
You might not even like him.
well, when
You
you
got
start
to get
going.
to know him before you can say you like him. You looking at, like Danny said, that physical. You looking at a person physically and say, I can get with him.
No, not
But then you
necessarily. Like, I've been on dates where you meet somebody and they're attractive, but the attractiveness is not what's going to hold me to that person. Like, I want to get to know you. Like, if I want to
Right.
get to know somebody at an intimate level, you know what I mean? So it's like, I want to get to know somebody, and like I said, if you see a potential in that person and you want to mess around with that person, and you want to be buddies with that person, or like friends with benefits with that person, like, I want to get to know you. I want to know who am I messing with. Like, I want to know what moves you, what you like, what do you not like. And but when you start telling me this is who you are, and then you start to change, and that's not who you really are, then I have a problem with that. That's
okay, I
shadiness.
want Danny to ask his question because he a man. Go ahead, Danny. I want to hear Danny question. Danny, you there?
I think he left.
happened
Yeah, I don't see him on anymore. I think he's gone.
Yeah, Danny done cut out, man.
Somebody call Danny back because I would love to hear that question because
Tata done ran him off.
But that's all right. Maybe Papa Doc. Papa Doc, can you hear us? You have a question for Tata?
Do I have a question for Tata?
Yes.
Tata, I really like your presentation. I wish more women would be like that. Just be open, and it is what it is, I guess everybody has to line up mentally right. Physical attraction sometimes mean nothing. It's really got to be a mental thing,
That's what
tell
I
me what you
said.
want. Tell me what you want. Tell me how you want it. I tell you what I want. Tell you how I want it. If they match up, we'll match, all that other stuff. But as I hear Dr. Fabulous talk sometimes, I know you're a vintage, classy woman, but some of the older women just think that the box is so golden that it's prestige, and it might be to you, and I'm not going to take that away from anybody, but
It is. It
Well,
has
you know what?
diamonds and rubies.
If
and
they ever
precious.
got a chance to get the golden egg, golden egg, oh, trust and believe, they already know.
but here's what
And
happens
what
with
comes
that.
along with that
Here-
golden egg. You better ask somebody. If you don't
here's
know, you better ask.
here's what happens to it when you do it like that with a man. Sometimes that really brings the value of it down. Like, I don't even really want that if it's that golden, you know. If I got to go through all of that, I don't want it.
But
You
if
know?
you
Then you
get
ain't
it
gonna
and
get
it's
it.
that easy, and it's that easy,
Hey,
then
but you know what
people
they say
be
though, right?
walking around with a little something that's gonna be added onto your brown nugget. So therefore,
Well,
sometimes you better look out for a golden egg opposed to
but
trying to get
that's
every
not
egg you can get.
always the plateau for a man though. Like, I mean, hey, I'm
It may
50
not
some
be,
years
but
old.
most of them it is.
Not necessarily. I'm telling you, as a man, it's not the plateau, because the harder you make it, the less I'm going to want it. Not saying that I want it easy either, but don't come to me like,
But then how do you
say,
determine the scale since you says it ain't easy or it ain't hard? I mean,
no. As the woman get older, look, okay. Here's the thing. Here's the real thing. We both really want the same thing,
yeah,
okay? But
yeah.
but somewhere in the woman's mind, she has to make it almost difficult to reach the goal,
But
to
why is
make it
it the
say,
woman all the time? Because
because
sometimes
it ain't the
the
man.
man, no, that's not true now. Because you have some men that want you to chase them. And if you're not a chaser, you say, honey, they always say it's 10 women to every man. I always say,
Yep.
well,
Yep.
it's about 8 or 7 women that's missing in action because it's no problem. You see, it's all in who you are and the way you carry yourself.
Yeah, very true. So here's what goes with that. We both want the same thing. Okay?
Okay.
Let's get back to that. We both want the same thing. And I'm not telling you to make it easy for me, but I'm telling you, don't make me climb over the wall for it neither. You know, because at this
If you
age,
wanted that bad, you will.
hey, as you get older as a man, like there was an interview last week with the basketball player Gilbert Arenas, and the woman asked him, how come he wasn't married? He said, because it's easier to spend the money on the vagina and let it be over with. And I thought about that as an older man. In a way it makes sense, in a way it doesn't make sense, but that's what happens when you reach that older age and the woman with this vintage, thing that's been on the shelf for months and years at a time,
But I guarantee you, when you think about that vintage and how good that vintage was good to it lingers in the back of the mind. So you can pay for it every day of the week, but it ain't never gonna be like that prime principle. So you keep on purchasing,
okay.
and that vintage
So
will stay on the shelf and get better like wine with time. You better.
So
That's
I'm
why
gonna
the
say,
thrill is gone.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off the box. My favorite saying is, it ain't the box, it's the shit that come with it.
That's true. That's what I said. It's that added plus that come along with that golden egg.
It's not necessarily a plus. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not the
Yeah,
box.
please.
It's the credit. Okay, I'm gonna not
We're
debate
not
with
gonna
you.
tongue wrestle about it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
For every word you got one, I got about 15.
Okay. So
There you go.
fellas, am I far off of what I'm saying? I want to ask other guys on the panel, how far off am I? And if I am, then maybe I need to think about my next.
You're not far off.
Yeah.
I should have known. I'm not gonna. I'm
Not
not
really.
even going.
Dr. Feelgood is a freak, so he don't count. What about you,
Exactly.
Wait a minute. Hold
Yeah,
on. Hold on.
old original.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
What's wrong with being a freak?
Hey,
I
like
didn't say
freaks, but
that wasn't
I'm
what I
just
said.
saying.
I said he was an old original player. So his playing cards, he got them stacked up to the top of the roof. So anywho, go next.
Why y'all treat the man like that?
You can teach me a new thrill. Hey, I'm
He
all for it,
gave
but
his
I'm just
honest
saying.
opinion on
What
this
about you,
whole
distinguished
situation.
brother?
Well, I feel like this. Everybody has their opinion, and it's a beautiful one. So I will take Papa Doc's opinion and place it in my golden nugget and let it
Put it on the
simmer.
shelf.
Let it marinate.
Oh, I
There
thought
you
it was
go.
gonna be the golden box. I got excited there for a minute. Okay, but what'd you say it was going? The golden where?
Don't worry
It's
about it.
going on that shelf.
It's
It's
going on
Papa
the
going
Doc,
on the
shelf.
shelf.
Papa
It's
Doc,
going to
just let
marinate
it go, bro.
because we don't want
Let
you
it
to
go,
have to
bro.
work hard at it. Or I have to, as they say, make you work hard at it because it's too much for you. It might put you in respiratory, what is it? Population. Now I'm not gonna do that to you, okay? So come on. We
Hey,
understand.
like
We
my
understand
man
one
Papa
another.
said.
Doc,
Like my man
Papa
said,
Doc,
going and coming at the same time. I'm with that. Yes.
Okay.
Papa Doc, she got that
Yes, ma'am.
kryptonite.
Oh Lord, hurt me. Okay.
Ah, see, said the blind man. Okay. Now, now, where's the time has come. Special K says that she was done. So I'm going to slide right on over there to the distinguished brother. Distinguished brother, are you ready? You rubbing your forehead like you thinking about that golden box. Get the head right and come on. Come on.
No, it ain't the golden box that I'm thinking about. Trust and
What,
believe that's
what
not
you
the golden
thinking
box
about?
that I'm thinking
What you
about.
thinking about?
I ain't got nothing yet. But okay. Back to the subject at hand of what could be done.
Subject at hand.
So that double.
To try to get some spark back in the relationship. I think from experience, one of the things that we all have to realize and deal with is it takes work, and you got to be willing to put in that work. And I think that's where a lot of us fall short. It's like Lady K said earlier, you get complacent. You start feeling that everything is good, that you don't have to put in the work. But as someone else said earlier, it is a matter of what you did to get me. You got to do that more to keep me. And you got to be willing to put in that work. Life happens. Life is going to be lifing. We're all grown here. Shit going to hit the fan. Things are not always going to be perfect. But if you're with that person that you want to be with, you got to make that person the most important thing. You can work yourself to the grave. You can be as rich as you want to be. You can have all the power in the world. But if you ain't got nobody to share it with, or if that person you are sharing it with doesn't make you happy, doesn't make you smile, and for us, doesn't make you stand at attention at a moment's notice, what's the point? You got to figure out what it takes to keep that spark going. And it could be something as simple as, for us guys, and I'm sure most of the guys will probably go with me on this, we're very, very simple creatures. We need basically three things. A comedian said it years ago, and I've heard other people say we need basically three things. We need something to eat, we need something to drink, we need to see something naked.
He said,
Once we
coming
got
at
them
a
three
moment
items in our
notice.
lives, and that naked is what we want to see, what we want to have, and we know that is mine, we good. If we could just get all that other emotional stuff out the way, all that complicated madness that people like to throw into relationships out the way, just understand us guys are very, very simple. You give us what we need and want, and you give it to us the way we need and want it, we will build you a fucking driveway from the bedroom to your car. We will build you a new house in the backyard. We will go out, kill something, cook it, feed it to you by hand if that's what it takes. As long as we can get what we've been telling you we wanted from day one. And the problem that I have seen over time is, and I know y'all gonna be mad, I'm already ready for the backlash and the whipping that I'm gonna get. But what I have seen happen in the past from a female standpoint is, for whatever reason, after a certain number of years, y'all get tired. Y'all like, why do you need it so much? Why do we have to keep doing that? What's the point? We don't need to do that no more. And that's bullshit. We need it to the day we die. And if you're the right person that we want to be with, you should be willing to give it to, because as long as we get that, we will do anything that you ask. We won't ask no questions. We will go out and start a war as long as we can get what we've been asking
what you
for.
trying to get? What you asking for? Because as
Dr.
Tata would
Fabulous,
say, you need to
Dr.
be up and
Fabulous,
trained.
stop.
What
Stop, Dr.
you
Fabulous. Don't even
asking
go
for?
there. Don't
I
even
know
go there.
I'm just serious. What you asking for? Because Tata
We
says,
asking for what
in,
we got from day one.
listen,
We asking for.
listen. She
Mhm.
says women will go and give above and beyond, but men don't do the same. What are
That
you asking
no,
for if
I
you're not willing to give
disagree.
100%?
I wholeheartedly disagree. We will give above and beyond. Like I said, we will start a whole war over just you. We will go out and kill anything necessary over just you.
Papa
But what I
Dog.
have experienced
Yeah,
over time,
Okay, let me ask Papa Doc the
you
same
guys
question.
go above and
no,
beyond in the beginning.
hold on, Tata.
And
Let me explain
and
something
then
to you real
okay, the
quick.
woman, so the man asked the woman for her last name. She takes your last name. She gives up her body to give you kids. She cleans, she cooks, she works. She makes sure that you have a home. She makes sure, and then she keeps pouring out. So that's why she's asking you, because I'm just saying women will go above and beyond. We are nurturers. We will take care of you. We will go above and beyond. But it's like you want us to continue doing certain things and to give, and that you're simple creatures. Wait a minute. Okay, but we're also simple creatures as well. When we feel appreciated, when we feel
I was
valued,
waiting for
when
that
we
one.
feel loved, when we feel respected, when you feel all of those things and you feel empathy, then you want to make it work. But sometimes women, we get tired. We get tired, but because we constantly putting out and we ain't getting back.
Saying Tata just preach. Y'all got the past pan. What they call it,
Okay,
the
all right.
collection plate.
Do I get my turn now to rebut?
Go on and rebuttal.
Okay.
No. Before you rebuttal, I was getting ready to ask Papa Doc. Papa Docs, are you on here? Can you hear? Papa Docs and went and sat down. His mind was blown. Okay, going on, y'all. Because I wanted to ask him, will he build, or what did you say, build somebody something in the backyard? I wanted to
yeah.
ask that question.
Yeah. Okay. Now my rebuttal to Tata is this, and it's because I lived it. I have friends that have lived it, and I know that it exists. What you just stated, as far as the woman pouring out, nurturing kids, cook, clean, all that good stuff, yeah, that happens. But what y'all fail, and I say y'all in general, what y'all fail to realize is that there are men out there that are giving just as much. We will cook, we will clean, we will take care of the kid, we will work a job, we will come in, we will rub your feet, give you a bath, and do all that same stuff that you're talking about women do. And we will still get, I'm tired, I got a headache, I ain't got time, I don't want to be bothered. Just spoke to someone tonight about this same subject matter, and she said the exact same thing. Even with all that, I just don't want to be bothered because we've been together long enough where it's not necessary. My first one ended because she said that was no longer necessary. Even with everything that was done, and we had the house, the 2 cars, the 2 kids, she didn't have to work. There were days that she would just be home doing absolutely nothing. So your statement, as far as that's what all women do, that is not true.
That specific
That is
case
supposed to be
is a little
let
different
me finish.
because
I didn't
all I
interrupt.
gotta say is this: most women, and I'm gonna say this, most women, and we can ask most women that are on this forum, most women work. Most women are taking care of their bills. Now, I know that not all women have the ability to be able to stay home and to have a spouse that takes care of them, because in the economy the way it is, you need to have 2 people to work. Now in that specific case, because I'm not saying all cases are the same, I'm not ever going to assume that the case is the same. But what I am going to say is, in most relationships, we are like I said in the very beginning, everything is about constant communication. The person that I was
5 years ago is not the same person that I am now. We're talking about there are different factors into making a relationship work. When you see a relationship that starts going downhill, it's because there's other things that have not been taken care of. Do I feel valued? Do I feel loved? Do I feel respected? Do I feel supported? And right now we're going through a time, and I know that everyone can agree, where mentally people are exhausted. People are exhausted mentally because you are stressing out about, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to, and some people, like we said earlier, if the money's funny, some people don't, there's stress going on in the mind. I'm going to tell you, I've been in those shoes where I was the housemaker, and sometimes it is stressful when you're thinking about, I'm at the house and I'm depending off of someone, and I have dreams and I have things that I want to do. I can't speak for her or for that specific situation, but that's why I go back to what I was saying earlier. What I was saying, and you can roll your eyes all you want at me, but I'm just telling you that this is about communication. A relationship needs to be laid out in the beginning, and communication, in order to save it, is about, you need to be constantly communicating with your partner. This is where I'm at. This is how I'm feeling. Because if not, if I don't know where you're at, and you start to fall into assumptions, and then you start to fall into that rabbit hole, and the relationship's going to go downhill from there. So how do you save a relationship? How do you keep it spicy? Communication, empathy. And yeah, it takes work, but before you even do the work, the person needs to be willing to put forth the work. And there's some people that are not willing to put forth the work.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And I agree with you on everything you just said. Everything you just said is what I said before. It has to also come from us. But even when we come with all of that, it's still not always reciprocated, number one. Number two, if you had listened to what I said earlier, when the man brings it like they're supposed to, and we still expect everything the way it was, women still get tired. They still have some excuse. There's still something going on. And that isn't all women, but it happens. That old adage about, I got a headache, I'm tired, I've been taking care of the kids. Well, if I've been at work 12 to 15 hours a day, I'm coming home to help cook and clean. I'm coming home to help rear the kids. You're doing the same thing. Isn't it supposed to be a 50-50? We still have to take time to make sure that no matter what's happening outside the house, when we get inside the house, all of that shouldn't matter. You've got to be able to shut that out and concentrate on each other. And no matter about kids or anything else, once you stop concentrating on each other, that's when the problems start seeping in and corroding the relationship. And that's what I have experienced directly. I've got people that I could call right now that will tell you the same thing. I even got on a call with somebody earlier before this call started, and I'm trying to explain to the woman all these things. And all I'm getting is talk back and emotion. But I said, now, when you stop and think about what I said, and you sit down and you look at your husband and ask him those questions, what happens? When she really thought about it and asked the question, and he gave her the exact same answers that I said to her before she talked to him, then she realized that, yes, if we're both doing the same thing, if we're both committed to the relationship, and we take the outside world and push it to the side and concentrate on us, all the rest of that's going to take care of it. Because point blank, life is going to keep on lifing. Nothing's going to stop that. You're going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. There's just going to be shit that happens. But no matter what, as long as you make that person that's in your life the priority, the rest of that, you can just set to the side. Because if you can come home and have that peace at home from that one person, be you male or female, that to me is what's more important than any other bullshit that goes on in the world today. Now, sex is going to be a part of that, but you got to have that, as you said, communication and intimacy. But all of that has to come together. And you've got to be able to say to the world, your ass going to wait until I get this straight at home. Once you can do that, none of the rest of it matters. Now, that's just me talking. So the rest of y'all, if you got questions, I will answer them. If you got opinions, we can discuss it. But that's how I feel about it.
I have something to say. Would you please repeat what you said the men would do in the backyard? Because I want to ask Papa Doc that question
Point
about
blank.
that backyard.
Is Papa Doc back yet? First of all.
Papa Docs, are you back?
I'm back.
Okay. This is what I said, Papa Doc, that she is just so, she's honed in on that one little thing. I said, if it is given to us right, if we're getting what we are asking for, that we have been getting from day one, we will build a house in the backyard for you. We will go out and start a war. We will go kill something, just so long as we get back to what we had at home. Do you agree or disagree?
Wholeheartedly, I agree.
You
Don't take a lot.
We're simple creatures. We're very simple
Don't
creatures.
take a lot. We're very simple creatures.
Here's another example I can put out there. If you're like me, I love football. My wife can't stand it, but I love football. And I told her from the beginning, when you want my attention from the football game, you know what to do. Why is this even an argument? You can do it during they could be scoring a touchdown. You walk across here in the proper way, I really don't give a damn about the football game no more. That's all we ask for. Something to eat, something to drink, see something naked. We'll work everything else out.
Oh, okay.
That's right. I don't care. This happened to me in my marriage. She was wearing nice lingerie, coming to bed sexy all the time. I know I can't do that every night, but she went from that to wear a whole sweatsuit.
And a damn moo-moo.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't even get my mind right for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know what's going to be once I get there, but damn, draw me in.
But you know what? She was
grandma
probably
draws and a bathrobe.
She went to that warm-up suit because she was like, apparently you're not keeping her warm, so she needed that quilt.
No, it ain't that. It's a lot of times we keeping you too warm or we want too much, and y'all be like, well, no, we can't do that. No, I'm tired. No, you gonna wear it out. No, don't you think I get sore? Well, God damn it, that ain't the point.
Right. Okay. Well, if all of that, can you meet me halfway? I mean, you ain't got to do the whole thing. Can you just come halfway with it and we can go to sleep,
Yeah, let me ask this question. I'm going to ask this question. And somebody told me not to, but I'm going to ask it any damn way. For the women on this panel, why is it so hard sometimes for y'all to just initiate? We don't always want to have to come forward. We would like to receive. Why is that so hard?
It ain't hard.
You say that, okay, that's one.
It ain't hard, and I never, when I was married, never turned my husband down. I never told my husband no. And it ain't hard to initiate because somebody already said we want the same thing. We want the same thing.
So going back to when I stated in the beginning, nobody agreed though with me. When I stated to keep the flame going, sex, you have to still do it. I hear it too from people that I know down the line. A lot of times that's when relationships start to go. Then I get, well, it can't just be about sex. It has to be, we're not talking about that. Yes, it does have to be everything else. But I've heard two brothers on here say it, distinguished brother, Papa Doc, that at the end of the day, they named three things in all of them, even Danny, outside of my money not being right, sex was still at the forefront. Leanne just said she never turned her ex-husband down during that time. So that was my whole point. You have to date within your marriage, keep the flame going, date still within your relationship. I said all of that. I said, be spontaneous. You know what your man likes. Sometimes when he comes to the door, excuse me, because y'all know I'm not usually the explicit one, but sometimes he comes to the door and he's an oral man, drop down and do what you need to do to him. It has to be things like that down the road. If not, these men and women, because men can lack that too, and women will start to turn away to get something to
Agreed.
fulfill them.
And see,
So I
that's
don't want y'all to think
Agreed.
it's not
exactly
just about
where I was
pleasing
going.
the man.
Right. What you do for your pleasure to pleasure him, they should be willing to do the same. And if they don't, like they say, that golden egg will sit up on that countertop until it get into the Tupperware box by itself. Amen to that, sisters.
No, I like my egg scrambled.
You like yours scrambled. I like mine over easy. There you go.
And I like
Lady
mine
T, you've
over
been mighty
hard.
quiet. Why has Lady T been so quiet recently? That ain't normal.
Well, I mean, I'm listening to both sides. However, men is just flat out sex. Women screams, you need to value me, you need to love me, you need to, know me. Men, it's back to sex. So my thing of it
you
is,
missed it.
no, I ain't missed nothing. I've been sitting here
You
listening to
missed
it.
it.
I'm doing the summer.
There you go. Preach, lady.
But not once have I heard, okay, we're talking about the thrill. So what can we do to keep it going, to rekindle it? The first, I have not heard anyone say, well, the first thing you need to do is learn that person, do something that you would not normally do, which is if she like, I don't know, a strawberry shortcake, she come home from work one night, it's not about the sex. Surprise her with that strawberry shortcake.
Make an effort.
For me, it make me feel like $1 million. Yeah, I'll drop down, twisted, whatever you want,
Lady T, I did state that though in the beginning. I said
She
spontaneous, and I did say for men, I specifically said, and for men, not all the time as women, we want to be the planners of everything. I said, why don't a man sometimes pick up the phone and say, baby, meet me here at such and such. He could plan out something. It could be right. It could be dinner. He could plan out a picnic.
That's surface things. I'm talking about
Don't
to
plan
really
no picnic.
learn that person. Like, I don't know, something you may like. Maybe you like to go shopping to calm your nerves and I don't know, buy a purse. Okay, so he said, okay, baby, you know what? Let's go out. Let's go. And then you're just like, where we going? Where we going? And he take you to the, I don't know, Louis Vuitton store and say, you know what? I want to get you a purse. It's not about planning. It's something that he know that you like that will make you feel better or feel good or trigger something.
On that one.
But what I'm saying is going out to dinner, going to the movies, talking, whatever, that's surface stuff. I'm talking about digging down deeper. What really makes you tick? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Me coming home from work, he knows I love my feet rubbed. He'll go ahead, have the water ready. Hell, you can even bathe me, rub me down in some oil. I am all yours. Learning that person. And I feel like we don't do, enough of learning. We want to have sex. We get to know this is the routine. I'm going to cook. I'm going to wash your clothes. I'm going to rub your head, whatever. But you're not learning what I like. And that's why I'm quiet, because I don't think we're not getting back to the root of, making one another happy. And that is learning someone.
There you go. Now,
I got something for that. Let me ask this question then.
Bring it.
Why, or I can't say, and again, I'm not saying all women, but why is it when we ask, what do you want, we get back, I don't know.
Well, see, you didn't ask the right kind of woman, because if somebody would call and say, what do you want? I can give them a list of 25 things off the rip. Trust and believe I could.
Okay, then
who's that, Tata? That was some explosion. I know, Tata, that's where it is. But
no, that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't have to ask. If you check in with me and say,
baby, we don't ask, how we gonna know?
Let me know. Again, you need to learn. If we
are not mind readers, so if we ask, we're asking for a reason.
Pump the brakes, boo. If you call me throughout the day and I'm telling you how my day went, and you know I still have to come home, cook, and take care of the kids or whatever, you have some time on your hand, why don't you go pick up dinner? Why don't you go home and get the kids situated? Whatever,
Well, that's a
I
given.
do. Wait. You're doing. And then when I get home, I'm shocked because I had to do these things. You know my schedule, you know me. And I'm like, dang, they cook food. He done got the kids got, oh, let me go ahead and take care of myself so I can take care of him. You shouldn't have to ask me. That's my job.
No,
I learned
that's
you.
common.
Okay, I'm gonna please you because you pleased me today.
That's common sense. That I agree with. Stuff like that
But
is
since
common sense.
it's
No,
so
what I'm
common,
saying is when we ask you, what do you like in the beginning or even during relationships, something as simple as what do you want to eat? And I see memes about this all the time, but it's real life. Something as simple as what do you want to eat? I don't know.
But you know what?
What do
That
you
mean
want to
they
do?
goes
really
back
I
wasn't
to
don't
hungry.
know.
learning.
They weren't hungry. Because if you ask somebody, what do you want to eat? And that's
Say it, Dr.
what I
Fab.
tell my
Say it.
grandkids all the time. If you ask me what I want to eat, and I know I'm a plus size diva baby from every inch of me, I'm not gonna tell you I want a salad because baby, a salad won't tickle my fancy. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I want. I want an appetizer. I want I want the whole enchilada and dessert. So some of these women
And
that
that
come in with that preconceived notion of I'm going to act like I want a salad when they know they want more than a salad because they're
When
Thank
not
you
being
you.
hungry.
real.
When you
Thank
and
you.
hungry. When
that's
you
And
my
I,
whole
hungry.
point. That's what we're looking for. That's what somebody like me would be looking for. If I ask, I'm asking you because I want to know. I'm asking you because I'm trying to learn. I'm asking you because I want to be able to
Okay,
put that
that's
in the
the
back
first
of my
stage.
mind.
That's the
So
first stage. We've been together. You should know. You should know when I go to Longhorn, I want that crusted Parmesan chicken. You should know when I come home, I like certain smells in the house.
but if
You
we
should
ask, that's
know.
still
You should know
but
when I
that's,
verification.
take my
but the
wig
thing is
off and
that's,
get my hair. You should know these things.
yeah.
Tell you.
Come on, Lady T.
Okay,
But
if
that's
we've
why
been in a
I said
relationship, yes,
going
we
back
should know
to,
these things. But if we're just getting started and I'm asking these questions, I just need a straight answer.
Go
That's why
I
ahead,
you
don't
need to
need
ask
Jerome.
those
mind
21
reading.
questions on the first and second date. Bring a
yes,
notebook and take notes because I don't
And I
need to
do.
waste my time. You don't want to rub my feet. You're not the one for me.
That's
listen,
my
that's
whole
why I
point
said
though.
in the
That's why
very
we ask
beginning
these
that there
questions so we can have
requires
that notebook.
communication.
Yeah, you have to
Communication.
communicate,
You
but you
got to
have to
communicate.
learn.
You have to lay out your cards from the very beginning because if you don't, and maybe I didn't say it that way, Lady T, but that's what I was trying to say. When you are in dating this person, I want to know you. I want to know, what do you like? What do you not like? What ticks you off? What doesn't tick you off? What can I do to please you? What are you into? I need to know. And even if it doesn't lead into like a committed relationship, even if we're going to be friends with benefits or whatever, I need to know who I'm getting involved with. I need to know you. And so that requires communication. That requires to be able to communicate. And and then another thing is what I was saying is we evolve as people. So you can ask me, I may like something right now. You may have met me, and this is also for long-term relationships. I think long-term relationships start to fizzle out because over time, it's what someone said earlier. You start to get familiar with the person. You start to get
Get
comfortable with the
comfortable.
person. And what happens is the person that I may have been in my
No
20s may not be
longer.
the person that I am in my 30s. And the person I am
Right.
in my 30s is not the person that I am in my 40s. I go through some different changes hormonally. I go through different changes physically. And I want to
Right.
be loved differently. Maybe the smells that I like. That's why constant communication is so important because maybe 10 years ago I wasn't, as sexually open, and now I'm more sexually open. Maybe now I don't want to do certain things, but I'm open to doing other things. But all of those things need to be communicated when you have a relationship. And I always say you should be. And I've learned, that's why I brought up my personal experience. The reason I am the way I am and I say what I'm saying is because it comes from a place of I know what it's like not to have it, and I know what
Right.
it's like you not be able to speak up, and you have someone that's more experienced doing all the speaking and all the doing, and you're trying to figure out who you are and what you want. But when you're more mature and you know what you want, it's like, I've learned that because of my experience, I don't beat around the bush, because I don't have time to waste. I have kids, and I have a career. But if I'm gonna be investing in a relationship, even if it's a friends with benefits, I'm still investing my time. I'm still giving intimate parts of me. I'm still giving my body. And so you need to know who you're getting involved with. What do you like? What do you not like? Lay out your cards. When you're dating somebody, I've learned that dating should feel like you're dating your friend, like it should
Exactly.
friendship. It should be a friendship. And if you feel like, okay, we don't feel like friends no more, then we need to start back from the beginning. What happened to our friendship? Because even when you have a girlfriend, a friend of yours, or a male friend that it's not working out, something's shady. Oh, I feel this. It comes from a place of disrespect. It comes from a place of shadiness. It comes maybe from a place of miscommunication. So the step one is taking it back to that place of
To the
friendship,
old
respect.
landmark. That's right, baby girl.
Right.
That's right. That's what
And
I'm
the
And
thing
talking
of it
about.
communication is a
is,
big
wait,
part,
wait.
and that's why you ask those questions.
But see, the thing of it is that men fail to realize, and some women, is that we all have a love language. And to sit there and take the time to have that language, with your lover, it takes time. It takes patience. It takes understanding. And you're quick to say, "Oh, we can't read signals." No, but you can read my body.
And we can ask questions.
Again, you can ask the questions in the beginning, but we've been married for 16 years. You should know me. You should know me
Well, wait a
inside
minute.
and out.
Tata just said that over time
You
changes take
change,
place.
right? But you're with me for 16 years. You're changing with me. You should know
But we're
me
going to
as
have
I change.
questions. It
But
still shouldn't
Lady
be a
I'm
T,
bad
sorry,
thing
I'm
to
gonna
distinguished
say
ask
brother. You
this.
don't
questions.
lost that battle.
But Lady T, I'm gonna say this. Even if you've been married for 16 years, I think that in a relationship, there should be communication. And because I'm not a
Ta-da!
genie in a bottle, and I agree with him for the first time. Um, but,
Why, thank
but
you.
let me
I
tell
knew that we would
but
come to some common ground.
but I agree. You start to, the person that you were, Lady T, 5 years ago is not the person that he was 5 years ago. And so
Right.
over time, maybe the smells that you liked, or maybe the massages that you liked, maybe the technique, or, that's part of communicating. I think even in a relationship of 15, 16 years, it's easy to say, well, you should know me, you live with me. But I'm there, that I've seen that, and maybe this is just an example to bring it together, but you've seen that there's people, like you see, like people that are celebrities that are passing away from depression or from suicide, and you see all of these things with mental health, and you see the person was okay one day, but then there's been internal struggle. Sometimes you're living with somebody and you don't even know some of the things they've been hiding from you. And so this is why communication is so important, because I want to know you. I want to know what is going on, because maybe you're going through something, and that's love. A relationship takes effort. It takes empathy. It's like, learning is a process. Because even you see that those relationships that's lasted, like our grandparents or our great grandparents that were together for 30, 40, 50 years, they had to learn, okay, the person that I got with 40 years ago is not the same person, and loving you through it, loving you. But there has to be a level of respect, and there has to be communication. I know that times are going to get hard, but I'm still here. I'm still rocking with you. I still want to reassure you. I still want to support you in the road that you're in. And that's what makes a relationship last. Unfortunately, we live in a time where, you know, We live in a time where a lot of people are like, I have one foot in and one foot out of a relationship. I don't have to put up with this. And when you get married, it's like, oh well, if this doesn't work out, I always got divorced. I'm not saying that you have to put up with abuse, but I'm just saying that a committed relationship, it takes work. And if in the very beginning you don't establish those grounds, and that's why I said establish everything while you're dating. I know, because I also come from an abusive background, and when you're putting up with some mess and you don't establish that, then you put yourself in a rocky situation, and you want to establish those things, not for your mental sake, for your emotional sake, for your physical sake, and to not waste anybody's time. So that you need to, even in a marriage, it's so easy to get complacent and not know what the other person is going through. So we can't assume that, oh, you just because you should know me. It comes from a place of I want to continue communicating with you. I want to continue. How do you feel? And how can I make it work? And how do I support you? And how do I love you in this journey? Because I want to share my life with you.
But see,
that's
Tata,
so sweet,
that's what
Tata.
I'm saying, that learning a hobby together, learning how to dance, sing, touch, how to touch your partner, how to talk to your partner, you're going to transition through, that relationship. So that's what I'm saying. We all have a language, but our partner needs to listen, look, touch, feel, smell that language.
Okay. And everything is everything, but I'm going to jump in here. Can Dr. Feelgood come and give us some insight quickly? Because it got so good and juicy, we didn't even realize what time it was. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. So Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah. The bottom line is that people change over time. Some change micro, some change macro. However, that does not stop people from changing. The issue with us is that we expect people to be the same or similar during their time with us, that we can grow lazy eyes, have lazy attitudes, and basically become roommates. So everybody had good points tonight. We have to look at it in the terms of what can I do to make my partner's life better, make my partner's life easier. We have to remove the excuses on why we can't do something. And it goes back to what people were saying. You have to communicate. Hey, when you do this, I feel this way. That's how you're supposed to do it, according to my counselor. That's all I got, Dr. Fab.
All right. Well, if that's all you got, we're going to take it and run with it. But anyway, to everyone that came on tonight, in the absence of Axon Jackson, hopefully I made a joke in our group chat saying he must have ran out of gas, but I'm hoping and praying that everything is all well and
He's
that
fine.
he's safe. But sometimes we get in a relationship and, like you say, you're supposed to know a person, and then the person change, and then just one day you wake up and say, where is this going? Are we still putting forth an effort? So when it's all said and done, we're not going to say we're going to have a part two, but we will definitely have another open forum, because I think that when it's an open forum, you can say what you want. All expressions can be said. There's no right, there's no wrong, and we can all say our part. But guess what, y'all? I forgot to say, welcome everyone. And Andreen, I have to call on you before I leave. Andreen, can you hear me? Andreen, how you doing, honey dumpling? Well, give us one quick thing, give us one little nugget, and then we're going to sign off. Andreen, tell me one thing that you think you can throw in and make that spark, that flame come all the way back. You can ignite the fire. Fire.
I don't know what that one thing would be, but I think I go back to Tata and Distinguished Brother. And I think it all goes back to communication, saying what you want and making sure they know and they understand and it's being heard the way you are saying it. Because I think communication is not just about speaking, it's about also being responsive to make sure that they're accepting or receiving what you said the way you're delivering it or what you meant me to deliver it.
Okay. So as long as we are communicating and you're not talking to a deaf person, because sometimes as individuals get up in age, they tend to turn deaf or have a deaf ear. As long as you can get their hearing aid turned all the way up to 10, you might have something that you're working with. So with that being said, I'm going to ask Lady T, Special K, Distinguished Brother, and Dr. Feelgood, if you got one more quick nugget to say to the individuals that join us this evening.
I know.
Oh, wow. I love the feedback. Well, the only thing I have to say is just slow down and take the time to learn your partner and try something new with them. If they like to dance, then take a dancing class or just turn the music on and just dance with them. Just, drop everything and live. I'm going to pass it over to you, Dr. Feelgood.
Tonight's tonight, and let's get it right. Take care of the ones you're with. If you're close, hug them, kiss them, tell them you care about them. If they're far, text them, say, hey, I'm thinking about you. And, when y'all get together, just get that, make that magic. Sometimes we got to take a break from stuff, but don't withhold from your partner. Whether it's protection, provision, procreation, cooperation, don't take from your partner, because when you do that, you might as well just walk away. That's all I got.
All right, Special K.
Yes, just thanks everyone. This was a great discussion tonight. Everyone's opinions are always welcome. Everyone had great points in the conversation tonight. And I always feel love yourself first. Once you love yourself, everything else will fall into place. And good night to everyone. Distinguished
All right,
brother.
distinguished gentlemen. I'm sorry, distinguished brother. Child, I gave you a whole new name.
Just want to say, it was a good discussion tonight. I hope we have way more of these. I like the fact that everybody is willing to state what they feel, what they think. And I do realize that communication is a big part of everything. And with that communication, questions need to be asked, but those same questions need to be answered.
All right. And with
Dr.
that
Fabulous.
being said to everyone, I'm glad you all came to the same place, same spot, same time next week. And guess what, y'all? Smooches. Good night.
Good night.